Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I've got the Hinderer knives, XM-18, 3.5 inches, Harpoon Spanto, bronze anodized version here with me for our review. And we're going to analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this guy. But first of all, let's just check out how big this guy is. This is going to be around 8.2 inches long with a 4.6 inch long handle. Yeah, something like that, and a 3.5 inch long blade. Let's see how this guy compares to some other options. So we've got the Ontario Rat number 2 right over here. Pretty smaller options compared to the bigger brother Ontario Rat number 1. And as you can see, handle size is kind of like comparable to this guy and a little bit less cutting edge compared to the Model 1. Let's see the same thing basically for Spyderco. This is the Spyderco Para 3 and this is the Paramilitary 2. So very comparable also. These two guys are as for what concerns the handle to blade ratio. So these are both knives with a kind of long handle and a kind of like a short blade, as you can see. Let's check it out up against another beauty right over here. This is the Koenig Knives Arius, and it's pretty much the story is the same because you can see that handle to blade ratio is very similar. This is a little bit longer for handle and blade, but the ratio is kind of like the same. This guy is the Shirogorov Neon Zero. Really beautiful EDC option right there. Very nice and compact. This is another beauty, guys, which has similar overall size, but a little bit better blade to handle ratio, as you can notice by the proportion right over here. This is, by the way, the Holt Bladeworks Spectre. This is a version 4 liner lock. This is another pretty popular one. This is the Chris Reeve Knives Large Sebenza 21 in a Night Sky variant edition. This is also another popular one. I really am digging this guy. This is a front flipper, nice custom knife factory 520 in the house. Really cool design. As this guy is super cool. This is the Shirogorov F95 R Slim. Is something that I'm truly appreciating lately. And another Russian guy over here, custom knife factory Snafu 2.0, just to give you an idea of a big boy compared to this Rick Hinderer knives XM-18. So this is the XM-18. It's a pretty popular one, very famous knife in the industry. There's a lot of variants. You can get this guy in so many flavors. There's basically 3 shapes: 3-inch, 3.5, which is this guy, and 4-inch, but that's called XM24, and that's a big boy. There's so many options. You can find this guy like really several colors for the scale, several materials, lots of aftermarket options, different anodizations for the frame lock side, let's say, different styles for the blade, different finishes. I mean, and with all the options you can find for the hardware, for the standoffs, you can get an extra backspacer over here. You can change the clip, you can change all the hardware, the nuts, the pivot. I mean, you can really customize this guy with a lot of options. I'm not saying endless options, but a lot. This is the 3.5 inch version. It's sporting a dual tone G10 scale. Really interesting finish. It's like a black and dark and green color. You see some chamfering going on the outside, not so much on the inside, but on the outside you have this curve over here, which is gonna contribute to give a nice feel to the knife when in the hand. You've got, of course, a liner right over here, it's titanium, and it's also bronze anodized to match the back right over here. Of course, this is a frame lock. You have basically 3 stainless steel standoff in this configuration right over here. You've got lanyard hole going through the scale right in this position. If you get the backspacer, you can get also an option with an extra lanyard hole right over here, or you can just get just a plain one, not plain, but with no lanyard hole, which is gonna have like the matching jimping right over here, but you're gonna have to buy a separate kit to install it, because it's not gonna clamp, let's say, onto these standoffs right over here. Of course, this is the generation 6, and you can spot it because of this symbol right over here. This is the tri-way pivot symbol, and you can find in this version like a lock bar stabilizer, really cool, which is integrated right over here. Another lock bar stabilizer right over here underneath the pocket clip. Of course, Hinderer invented this mechanism. And of course, you find also a lock face insert, which is stainless steel, beautiful option and invention to eliminate lock stick, 100%. You can also notice that the disassembly of this guy is gonna require you one flathead screwdriver, an Allen wrench, a Phillips screwdriver, and a spanner right over here, just to hold this guy in place. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 tools. It's not going to be difficult or crazy to do it, but you're going to need different tools. Also, you can check out my disassembly video to have an idea of how that it's done. It's not difficult. It just takes some time and you just need to be careful, but nothing too crazy. Also, what I really appreciate is the fact that these screws are absolutely flush with the handle, not protruding. The pivot is protruding just a tiny bit, nothing too crazy. We've got titanium pocket clip right over here, which is not deep carry. This much a knife is gonna stick out of your pocket. Has a nice, actually really nice clip ramp right over here, right amount of tension. It's nicely designed. I mean, nice cut out in the middle. Of course, it's bronze anodized to match the scale right over here. It's in this case, it's mounted as a tip-up carry. You can also do tip-down carry, but you cannot reverse it to this side right over here. The blade in this variant right over here is what actually attracts me the most, because, I mean, look at this. This is a 3.5 inch long CPM 20 CV steel blade. You've got some nice jimping going on, and the jimping is matching let's say, the grooves on the handle, which is a pretty interesting thing. The jimping has a very aggressive feel, and it's absolutely functional. There's just a little bit of chamfering going on. As you can see, the stock is not like the thinnest of them all, so it's a pretty solid workhorse, 100% workhorse blade. But I was saying, no, not really much chamfering or crowning. You've got some nice harpoon style design right over here with a swedge going on up to the tip. And then you have this Spanto finish, which is like a mix of spear point and tanto. Right over here you can see the intersection right there. And this is a flat grind. In fact, you can see like around about 30% belly and flat straight edge up to the huge sharpening choil, which also serves as a finger choil, and it shows you how thinly grounded this blade is. Not like super thin, but still for a stock like this thick, they did a pretty interesting job. Nice thin edge. And then you have this interesting plunge grind going on right over here, and leaving a little bit of a flat surface, which allows them to apply their logo on this side, and USA CPM 20CV steel logo, let's say, in the back. So just some billboarding going on for sure. Of course, you've got like your flipper tab right over here, which is sticking out a lot. Nick Shabazz is not going to be happy about this guy because it's a pocket packer, like he's saying. And but I mean, it's point. Yes, you can't really do like a push button. You can, but it's gonna like hurt your finger. So basically, this is designed for your finger just to act like in this position and just do the light switch, and that's gonna be pretty easy. But still, this is not an ideal flipper tab. Like for me, this is the ideal flipper tab. So basically, it's in the opposite direction, you see? Like when it's like that, you can do easy push button or also light switch and nothing is gonna happen to your finger. But in this case, you just better stick with the light switch like that. The sound this guy makes is very interesting. It's a very solid, percussive, and very, very dense cluck when you open, and a nice click when you close it. Very sturdy sound. It communicates like a strength, like something pretty solidly built. I'm actually digging this sound a lot. It's really, really cool. It's not resounding. There's no echo. It's pretty solid, guys. The weight of this guy is going to be 5.6 ounces, so not a super light weight. And in the feelings you're going to get when holding this one are amazing, I have to say. So the ergo, in fact, you see like this finger groove right over here and finger choil. So basically you can do easily an advanced grip like that, and this harpoon area over here, it just can serve as a divot for your thumb. So you can just place your thumb like that and do some carving, some really high precision work, because the grip is going to be very, very good in the hand. Or you can just use the classic grip. And you're gonna have this milled out area to facilitate your index like that. The flipper tab is beautifully integrated with this groove right over here, and it's gonna serve beautifully as a finger guard, as well as in the reversed grip position. And in fact, you have some jimping going on over here, some jimping over here, jimping for the lock bar disengagement, and jimping up there. So there's a lot of traction going on in this knife, guys. Like the ergos are just phenomenal. This is something like you can really abuse. You can really use this guy in a hardcore manner, I have to say. The texture on the handle, it's giving like an extra grip sensation. Really cool, really grippy surface right over here. And the fit and finish also it's very good. I've not seen any gaps. There's no flex. Of course, look at these standoffs. These are like pretty beast of pillars going on, and to keep and look at the size. I mean, the thickness, the stock of these scales and this G10. This is an overbuilt knife for sure. There is, of course, no blade play going on. The clip is nicely done, has a good feeling, nice tension to it. I mean, overall, it's solidly built 100%. I'm just having a couple of issues with this guy. One is that the G scale, and this is like the factory one, is protruding from the liner, and that is bugging me a little bit, because as you can see here, it's protruding, like it's not following the outline of the liner. And I don't know why that is the case, because it would be beautiful to have less area over here, so just milled out a little bit more to expose more of the lock bar disengagement area right over here. So that's a little design flaw in my opinion. The second one, of course, is the pointy flipper tab right over there. And the third one is, which is reflecting in the feel overall of this one, is the lock bar disengagement, because it's not that easy to disengage, and it's not as nice, for example, as this guy. So as you can see right over here, this area has been milled out and it's exposed. So, and this area is rounded off. So your thumb naturally slides down and just stops right there, and it just disengages the lock in a beautiful and easy way. So this guy reminds me a little bit of the Arius. In fact, you can see they are quite similar. So the Arius is protruding a little bit more, and they have the same, actually a little bit more milling going on over here to disengage the lock bar, whereas the XM-18 has no, you know, it's just flush like that. So you need to jam your finger in it, and you have to take advantage of this this jimping going on over here to disengage the lock bar, kind of like in this in the case of the Arius, which I think it's the only flaw of that one. And in this case, it's replicated kind of like in the same way. You have some areas which is milled out, but just cut this a little bit more, and you're gonna create some situation. Like, for example, look at the Sebenza. Look at this. This cutout, it's very simple for your thumb just to be jammed in and just to disengage the lock bar. So that's probably another gripe that I have with this guy. But the action, so for what concerns the action, the feel of the action of this guy is just insane. Guys, they perfected the XM-18 in the Generation 6 tri-way pivot. Basically, you can install ball bearings, Teflon washers, and phosphorus bronze washers if you like, and then you can tune in the action of your XM-18. In this case, I have bearings installed. Guys, this is the action you're gonna get when you fine-tune your XM-18 to my liking, for example, and it's absolutely super smooth, really, really drop-shotty, and it's beautiful. The feeling is just incredibly nice. They improved it big time towards the previous generations, and I'm just liking it. So the detent strength is on the medium side on this guy, and you got some nice kickback when deploying the blade, so you feel the handle a little bit, you know, being dragged away from your hand because it's just snapping and blasting up against the stop pivot right there. Overall construction, I said it's pretty spot on, super solid. Nothing is rattling. There's of course no lock stick. There's a little bit of issue here in disengaging the lock bar, a little bit of pointy area over here, but when you squeeze the handle, the grip is insanely beautiful. There is no detent ball ramp, so you're gonna have a little bit of a hard step right over there, but as soon as you disengage the lock bar, free falling and guillotine effect in a nice and glidey action. Really, really cool. Detent suction right there is just the cherry on top. I mean, it's almost a perfect knife. There's some small design issue, like I said, you know, flipper tab, the lock bar disengagement is not ideal. Handle to blade ratio also it's not ideal, but the grip is great. This blade shape is phenomenal. The robustness, the sturdiness that this guy transmits to your hand is it's probably up there, like top 5 for sure. Looks good. The sound it makes is pretty interesting, and the grip is phenomenal. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.